Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to our episode of Clients Talk. And today I have with me our very good friends and clients, Tina and Kevin McCann. So Tina, I would love for you to talk about your home that you sold.
Well, Kevin and I had started to think about selling and downsizing because Kevin was retiring, and we the first thing that you kind of think about is who would sell your home, and that was a pretty easy decision on our part because I've known you now since. Well, we don't want to say how many years, but since we were in our mid-teens, and so there was no one that I would have trusted more, and certainly we felt very confident about contacting you for that purpose. We then, as a result of that, we met Brian and Denise, who are part of the team, and decided that we would kind of hand over most of the decision making.
You were really good, I have to say, both of you.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're the expert.
A pleasure to work with, I have to say.
Well,
likewise.
It was a very, very helpful process, one that I don't think we could have gone through with anyone else because it is stressful at the best of times. And I must say that the kind of support that we got from the team, from everyone, like you were amazing, but Denise and Brian were also very helpful in terms of giving us pointers. And Denise worked tirelessly in staging, and we had fun with that actually because we're somewhat like-minded, and so it was kind of an easy process in terms of the thought process, but we still had some work to do to make it look the way that would be helpful for clients to come and take a look at and envision their own furniture in there and the use of the different rooms. So that was incredibly helpful. It took us a few months to be prepared. One, because I was still working a lot, and I would get these very busy
all
moments.
I remember is Kevin. Where are you going now, Kevin? Oh, I'm going back to the storage room. How many storage rooms did you end up ending up with?
We had two storage rooms. We had to declutter. And
and a lot of that decluttering was my office,
because you
my
had your
client
home
files,
office,
which was huge and what functioned very well as a very busy office, but at the same time, that's not what people want to see in the home. So
that's right.
So we transformed it a little bit.
And I think one of the other big pointers they gave us was when to sell a house. Because there's a time to get the best price, and we decided to wait till the early spring, and that paid off.
And actually,
really well.
You were one of the few homes on the market at that time, because when you came on the market, it was in the new year.
Yeah.
And there was still snow on the ground, and not very many houses on the market. So
it's really good advice.
Yeah, it was great advice, and it also allowed us, and it was a very short period of time that the house was for sale, which was delightful as well.
And I have to say, I'm going to mention this to everyone. So at the time that we were selling Tina and Kevin's home, I said, you know what, can you go away for a week? And then what did you do?
I called my friend and said, you have a winterized cottage. Would you mind, where are you going to be, actually? It was that kind of a question. Are you going to be in the city, or are you going to be up at the cottage? Because wherever you're not going to be, can we stay?
And then you took your two kids, and the four of you went away
and
on
the
a week's
dog.
holiday, and the dog. And guess what? We were able to do open houses, and
we didn't
had
have to worry
umpteen
about those
showings,
things.
And then we got multiple offers, and bingo.
Yeah.
Well,
the house was sold.
It was amazing because we were driving home on the Sunday night, dropped off at your office, looked at the offers, made the decision, and that was it.
Yeah.
So that part was lovely, and we also had a lovely week away with the kids, and the people that we had borrowed the cottage from, they came up because they wanted to spend some time with us as well. So it ended up being
really well.
the least stressful.
Yes.
And selling a house is
So would you
stressful.
recommend that anybody selling their home do the same thing?
They should think about it seriously.
Absolutely. I think trying to function as a family and have your house up for sale at the same time is a really hard balance. And we tend to be, I wouldn't say homebodies, but we tend to live in our home. And so that makes it a little bit more challenging just to pick up and go. And then working in the house as well.
Yes, I mean, in your
that
case,
added
yes.
an additional element of, I guess we really had to strategize to work around that at times. But what, I think is really essential, and we saw you as the expert. I mean, we're experts in our fields, but we needed the expertise that you and your team had in order to make this work, and it worked incredibly well. We got the best price in a market that, yes, it was a pretty pressurized market, but at the same time, we were a little odd element in our own neighborhood, and so were you. And with that, I think it could have gone in a very different direction.
Yes, it could have.
And but we all did what we needed to do, and we got better than a better
and to
price
this
than
date, you're
anyone
still the
else.
highest,
Yes, we are still the highest.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing about it is, if your house is in reasonable condition, you were very good about suggesting you don't have to do major renovations.
No.
You just have to make this house look well cared for. And we didn't have much of a problem with that because it was a well cared for home.
Yeah.
But I think
But you really, I have to say,
Kevin
Kevin,
worked
you
hard.
worked. Oh,
yeah.
you were.
Well, you were a
quite the trooper.
perfectionist.
Yeah.
Just a little painting and
little,
cosmetic
little?
work. Let's put
A
it that
little.
way.
Yeah.
You did quite a bit.
Yes. Well, and it was
You and
also
your
a big
son, you were
home.
very good. And it was a big home.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's right,
it took
that's
a
right.
little while to work through.
Yes.
But in the end, I think you and I both agree
Oh, yeah.
that it couldn't
really-
have gone better.
really
So
that's
we,
good.
we are very grateful to you and Denise and Brian for
Oh,
that.
that's wonderful.
So
And to add to that, it was only a few days later that we actually bought a house.
That's right. Now, how did that
Which
happen?
takes the pressure off, because when you sell your house, you're always wondering, where are we going to go now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a concern for you. And you had very specific wants
yes.
because you were, where you sold, you had that gorgeous view of the ravine. And you were very worried, I think, at one point that you were going to be able to replace that.
Well, yeah. Really, even though we were downsizing, one of the reasons we were doing that, well, there were several reasons that we were considering that, because that house was much too large for us as we retire. And secondly, we wanted a little bit of the surplus. And so we weren't prepared to just go on par. And we didn't want as big a house, but we really wanted a house as lovely as the one that we had left, or that had the potential for it. And you were great at identifying what properties and the location that we were looking at, and you were tireless with that, which I really appreciate. And when we were about to suggest that we couldn't move quickly enough because there was this offer, or the house that came up or came to our attention, we just come back from
That's
being
right.
away. So it's not as
right.
if it was 2 days after we sold our home, and that's when you identified this one house. But there was a bully offer, I understand.
That's
and
right. That's right.
What that did was accelerated the offer review
Presentation time.
process. Yes,
That's right.
And so it was for 4:00 the afternoon of the morning that you called, and I thought, and Kevin and I are not ones to make decisions lightly. We don't like to be pressured, and we are not one of those people who, when everyone else jumps on the train, that we jump on the train too. We really like to consider our options, but we listened to you again and said, when...
Well, I think one of the things, though, that made it easier was that Margaret and the team really listened to what we wanted to buy. So I think when Margaret and the team were looking at the options, they identified one that really suited us. And so when we saw the house, we looked at it and we thought, wow, it's got the view, it's got that size that we're looking for, the layout and stuff like that. So I think it made the whole decision-making process a lot easier.
Because we've never made a decision even about a car in the short period of time.
No.
That we,
I mean, really, truly, we were in the house and
Yeah.
We never went home.
We just wrote, remember we sat down at the table and we wrote up the offer right there and then in the house.
then we went out to dinner together, and then we had a house.
That's why you sat in the car while we presented the offer.
It was crazy, but we're very grateful. And I mean, you can't take credit for this, but we have amazing neighbors. And however, the house is beautiful and it has lots of potential, and the view is gorgeous.
Yes.
And the neighborhood is lovely. So we are really very satisfied with our decision. And we wouldn't have gotten that house if we hadn't listened to you.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. So on that note, would you refer us or recommend us?
Oh, we
to anyone?
already
For
have.
sure.
Oh, good.
We already have. And this is one of the points, when people ask us about our experience. It's so easy to say, well, it's the real estate agents that made it so much easier, because we couldn't have done this without you. We could never have achieved what we achieved, especially within the time frame. You were there for me in so many ways. And it is an emotional experience putting, you put everything into your home, and then you have to display it, and other people look at it. And so there is a certain sense of vulnerability there as well.
Yes.
And so having that support and that appreciation, I think, is really important too. Yeah. It's not just a financial transaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, on that note, then, I'm going to have to say we're done for the day.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very, very well, thank you so very, very much for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
And you know what? We met when I was 17 and you were 16.
Yes, because I'm a year younger than you are.
Do you remember when I was pregnant and I thought I was older than I was? You did too?
Yeah, well, we weren't thinking very... And that was a long time ago.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. And please like and share and subscribe to our channel. And then when we have more videos, you'll receive them. And thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Cheers.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our video. Whatever your real estate needs, please contact us. Cheers.